We have the privilege of having stand-up comedy tonight. I'm going to introduce our first comedian. He is a YU alumni, performs all over New York City. He is the winner of the 2009 Haas Comedy Contest. With great pleasure, Ellie LeWood.
Hello, Seforim Sale 2012. You can feel the energy in the room. Pretty sure half people don't know what kind of comedy show is going on, but it's okay. It's great to be here. I like being, I do comedy a lot on the side while I look for something as a main course. I'm currently unemployed, which is not so exciting because people come up to me and they say, you know what, you should just go into smicha. And I'm like, no, I really don't want to, because when you tell people you're unemployed, they say, oh, you look at this look like, you bum. But when you tell people, oh, I'm in smicha, God bless you. I'm not saying they're the same thing. Anyway, so it is February 14th, Valentine's Day. I know we don't celebrate that, but it's a Seforim Sale, so maybe someone will make their bashert, you know? I don't know. I like making people laugh, and that's my intention. When people are like, you are hilarious, man. When you play basketball, you don't really shoot like that for real, do you? I'm like, no, it's all part of the act. And I was talking to my friend's girlfriend, and she was saying, you know, she's French, and I was telling her a joke, and then afterwards she laughed, and she's like, I was like, oh, you understood? She's like, no. You have a funny face. Oh, okay, that's good, always good to know. But I do like performing in Jewish venues because there are a lot of Sharpton jokes I can make. I was like, I actually was talking to this girl from Sharpton, and I was like, oh yeah, she's like, no, I never went to Sharpton my year in Israel. I thought, like, she said I never went to Marzipan my year, when I went to Sharpton. I was like, I thought there was a Marzipan in Sharpton. Like, okay. So, I was like I said, I like performing for Jewish crowds because, like, there are a lot of times when, like, you know, like, a Jewish people can relate to. Like, I know when I see somebody, like, in public on the train, like, another Jewish person, I think to myself, hey, look, a Jew. And I always wondered if non-Jews do the same thing. It just sounds a lot more anti-Semitic. I don't know. Like, I just wonder some things. Like, I'm very, like, sheltered, so I don't know a lot. Like, I wonder if, like, non-Jews even have Monopoly and Risk. Like, why? Like, when do they play it? Like, they're like, oh yeah, they have that family game night, and which I think only exists in commercials for board games, like Mousetrap. Like, no, that's not good. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that you know, a lot of people they say a lot of things about the Seforim Sale. I think the Seforim Sale, for every 3 shidduchim they make, whatever, a lot of people come and they say they meet their bashert here, which is great. Mazel tov for that. But because a lot of people are obsessed with this idea of like setting you up. They always like, people like ask you like, who got me? They say like, because they're when they try to set you up, they're not like, the screening process isn't so intense. It's like, are you a guy? Yes. Have you always been a guy? Yes. Are you a serial killer? No. Great, I have the perfect girl for you. Like, you don't even know anything about me. And I feel like that way because people have this idea, there's this idea that if you set up 3 couples, you automatically go to Olam Haba, which is absurd because that means you can do whatever you want as long as you set up 3 couples. Like, I can just imagine this guy who, like, I don't know, like, kill people, he goes up to heaven and is like, what are you doing here, Dave? The serial killer? You killed 10 people. He's like, yeah, but I set up 12. But people do always come up to me and they say, like, you know, they want you to set them up all the time. They're like, oh, can you set me up with, and they're like, what do you want? They're like, I want somebody, everybody says the same thing, I want something normal. And they're like, you're not normal. Like, I was like, you wear a black hat in the shower. Like, you're not normal. Your dog wears the tefillin. Like, you know. Like, I love people that are like inconsistent, sometimes like inconsistently like from the, like get mad at you about certain things, but then they're lax about other things. They're like, make sure to cover the challah. You're not wearing pants. Like, that, where are you gonna be? And you know, like people, there are a lot of terms I never understood. Like the first time I heard them, like people say, like when they say, are you dating? They say, are you in the parsha? The first time I heard them, like, are you in the parsha? I'm like, oh shoot, what parsha is it? I fell asleep during learning. I really hope Yosef got out of that pit okay. And like I think in more Yeshiva rounds they say like, are you in the freezer? Which I guess I'm like, when the first time I heard that I'm like, oh, you better get out or he's never gonna get married. I don't know, he's gonna die. But I make a lot of jokes about things that I shouldn't make. Like even on Yom Kippur, I was thinking of jokes. I know. Like I was in during Yom Kippur. There's like one, like we were saying like the Hashamnu, you're banging your chest like Hashamnu. There's one Hashamnu that scares me, and the one that is this Latznu, which means that I have made a mockery of serious things, because that's all that I do. Like I have jokes about Rashi. Here are the jokes about Rashi. You know you want to hear them. There are 3 things that Rashi does that really bother me. The first is when he just says Gemara Mefarish. The Gemara will explain. You're like, thanks Rashi, real help. The second one is when he bails on you and you need him the most. So like, Rashi, what does this mean? He's like, I don't know what this word means, but you know that's how you say that in ancient French? Like, what? And then the last is it, and like sometimes he just like completely checks out, and he's like, hey, Rashi, what does this mean? And he's like, I don't know, man. Went out to lunch years ago, never came back. And there are just also things that like in davening that bother me that I think everybody can relate to, like Yalla the Yellow guy. Like, you know that guy, you know, the guy will say, all right, Yalla the Yellow, and then that one guy's like, Yalla the Yellow, haha, I beat you all. You're like, and then you turn to your response, you're like, shut up. And then of course you forget Yalla the Yellow anyway. Like, we all know we do that trick, we do Ritzeh, oh, whoops, Yalla the Yellow, I'm gonna, like, do you ever forget Alanising on purpose? Let's be honest, come on. Worse than Yalla the Yellow guy is the Kiddush Shavana guy. This is the guy, you know, you're still on Saturday night, and you're like, alright, after Abdallah, you're like, alright, who wants to get some pizza, who wants to see a movie? And somebody was like, Kiddush Shavana, you're like, shoot! It's like that guy who reminds the teacher you have homework. You're like, come on, man. No, but there's a lot of like, you know, there's a lot of things in davening that nobody even says. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to a house minyan on Friday night when it's time to say Bama Madalikin. I think everybody just looks at each other and look. Yep, that's about 3 minutes. I think that was designated time to talk about sports for the week. And then like also just like random things like, you know, Brit Shemay, people look at them, they're like, what is this Gemara? I'm not reading this. Or like Wednesday Yom, they're like, no, it's Tuesday Yom again. I know a little bit about myself. I bought a bike in 6th grade, and I was able to use that until 12th grade because when it came to my growth spurt, apparently God is also a comedian. Some people have more of a Hagba build. I have more of a Lila build. Like, people will come up to me and they're like, hey, you want to do Lila? Like, no, I'm not good. Like, on Zmiros, like, when's your bar mitzvah? Like, I'm 23 years old. And then there's also the things that, like, you know, that if you've been davening for a while, they're just things that we all do. Like, you know, you ever do the start with Ashrei, end with Elenu? You're like, Ashrei, the Namar, oh, shoot. Oh, man. Or you're getting caught in the Shema loop. You know, shoot, oh God, oh man. Like, that's why I like, and people like ask that somebody talks for Shabbos, somebody meals for Shabbos, and they asked me, they said, how come guys, whenever you get asked to bench, they never want to? They're like, oh, and somebody's like, oh yeah, because they said that guys like to be asked to do it. I'm like, no, that's not true. I just don't trust my reading skills. And like, I'm a lady a lot. I'm a lady, so people often they always go like, is there Kohen? Like, you know, like, no Kohen. All right, anyone else? And like, I'm just like, yeah, right here, lady. And they're like, all right, fine, lady, you want to do it? Like, ladies don't really get that much credit. You know, they. You know, as a lady, I don't really have a good voice and I can't play an instrument, so I guess when the Basic English comes, I'm just going to be like a Basic English reader. I don't really know, like, hey, welcome, watch your step, don't step on the blood, whatever. They're also just like things that like I get annoyed about, like if you're ever davening and there's like a davening clapper guy who's trying to say, in the middle of hear this guy go. Like, to me, I just think, defense. Also, like a few weeks ago was Rosh Chodesh, and on Shabbos, you know, Birkat. The guy says it's Birkat Chodesh, and the guy always says the Moad will be Tuesday and 8 Chalakim after 7, and everybody else is just like, okay. Kind of like when you're at a restaurant, the waiter offers you this special. He's like, oh, today we have a special of sea bass, and you're just like, I'm gonna get the cheapest thing in the menu anyway. I'm not really gonna. I realized how Jewish I was when I was watching the show Cash Cab, and I was thinking I would just be excited for the free cab ride. Because even if I lose, I still win. Okay. YU actually, I didn't graduate YU, and YU recently came up with a stat that says that 94. Like I said, I'm unemployed, and they recently came up with a stat that said 94% of YU graduates are either employed or in grad school. So I've been walking around recently with a sign that says, I am the 6%. I was walking outside by the career development center the first day of school this year. I was walking around in shorts and they were handing out like chips and stuff. And I asked them, I was like, oh, can I take chips and I can make an appointment? They're like, oh, what year are you in YU? And I said, who says I didn't already graduate? They said, because you're wearing shorts on a Wednesday. Like, good call, CDC, well played. I think we're getting to the point, by the way, where the CDC is going to start helping people with their shit-up resumes. I don't know about that. Okay, I made her job about that. I feel like, I don't know if you've been to, I don't know if you've ever been to a Sephardi davening. It's a lot more interactive than Ashkenazi davening. They're always like yelling out random things like, Moshe Baruch So, whenever I daven with Sephardi women, I always like feel like not included, so I try to, you know, keep up, so I just yell out things, but I don't know what to yell, so I just yell out here things that I hear go on, like, who is Chip saying? That's the best like, you guys couldn't relate to the shawarma jokes, I hear. Let me think here, sorry. I come up with a lot of like jokes at 2 in the morning, which is a really big problem because everything is funny at 2 in the morning. Like, I'll write stuff down and it's almost as if another person, like I'll think it's hilarious that night and then it's almost as if another person is writing what he thinks is funny. And then the next morning I'll read it and it doesn't make any sense. Like, he'll have written down, don't you hate it how koalas don't recycle? And you're like, what is wrong with you? People are always giving me advice of what I should say in my material. They're like my friend of mine came up recently, he's like, hey, you know you should do a bit about napkin holders. I'm like, where is the joke? He's like, that's your job. Like, that's not how this works. I was taking my friend's house recently for Shabbos, and you know, they introduced me that night. They're like, oh, it's Ellie LeWood. And the next morning, the next afternoon at lunch, they had guests over, and Mom introduces me. She said, hey, this is Ellie Friedman. And because I didn't want to embarrass her, I just went along with it. And I'm like, yeah, Friedman, that's my name. And then the people that she introduced me to, they're like, oh, Friedman's such a Jewish name. I'm like, I know. And then when they're talking about my comedy, they're like, oh, we can see you? I'm like, yeah, but I may change it to LeWood because Friedman might be too Jewish. So, yeah. But recently I was on Torah tours, and like I said, people are always trying to set you up if you're a guy and you're relatively normal. People are always trying to set you up no matter what. Like I was on Torah tours, and we went to a shul, and I was there actually with my girlfriend, and we were like standing in a group, and this group came up to us, and they said, this couple came up to me, and they said, oh, you live in Washington Heights? You know, we have a daughter that lives at 95th and Amsterdam, and I wanted to say, good for you. But I ended up saying something even weirder. I said, oh, that's only a 95-block job for me. And then 2 minutes later, they tried to set up my girlfriend with their son. And I got with my girlfriend afterwards. I was like, hey, you know, we could have married into a nice family. But I'll tell you, I'll finish on this last story. That I was going to Baltimore for Torah tours, and while we were there, we were deciding what we should get. What we should get as a gift for our host. So my friend decided to get him a bagel slicer. I don't know why, it's this thing. So we decided, okay, we're flying to Baltimore, we're gonna get him a bagel slicer, it'll be great. We go through airport security, and my friend's like, oh, I can't fit it in my bag, my suitcase, can you bring it in your carry-on bag? I'm like, yeah, sure, that should be fine. It wasn't, by the way, spoiler alert. So we're going through security, I'm like really not sure this is a good idea, but my friend's like, don't worry, it'll be fine. So my first friend Nate goes through with a lulav, goes through half a tree. Apparently that's the most normal thing in the world, that's fine. Okay, they've seen that every day. And then my second friend Benji goes through, he actually had 2 bottles of shampoo in his bag, and they said, oh, you can't take this on the plane. So he sarcastically says, oh, enjoy. And he's like, and the guy's like, oh, we don't take this. We're not. We're like envisioning them having like a TSA poker game at the end of the night. Like, oh, I raised you half a tree. I raised you 2 bottles of shampoo. And then I'm really nervous. They just confiscated the shampoo. I'm carrying like almost a knife thing. It's a bagel slicer. I don't know if you've seen it. So I go through security. I go through the machine. I'm like nervous, and they say, what's in the box? What do you mean? What's in the box? It's a gift for my host. What's in it? It's a bagel slicer. And as I heard myself say the words, I was like, it's a bagel slicer. Like, it's a bagel nuclear weapon. Like, it's a lock shotgun. Like, I felt myself saying, like, oh my god, that was the dumbest thing I've ever, like. So, like, unwrapping it, they're like, all right, we have to look at this. They unwrapped it and they look at it. And they open it up, and it says, the Bagel Guillotine 5000. I'm like, oh my god, I need to go to jail. This is terrible. It's like when my friend tried to bring potato cocoa once on a plane. They stayed at somebody's house and tried to bring, they gave him potato cocoa to take home. Put it through security, they said, what's in the tin? He's like, it's potato! Potato pie, yeah, like that. It's like, what is it? It's tefillin. What? Phylacteries. You know what that is. So basically, they take the bagel, so they're like, we're gonna have to take this. And I'm like freaking out. They're like, do you have your passport? I'm like, I didn't know I needed a passport to go to Baltimore. And so I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, it was my friends like give me, I'm like, Benji, I'm gonna kill you, but I didn't say that out loud because it's an airport. And that was the story. Last thing here, there's one last thing. I noticed that there's something about, there's a 5-second rule when something like food falls on the floor that guys can, girls wait about 5 seconds, they can eat it, guys can wait about 3 days, they can still eat it. But there's also a Jewish 5-second rule. And that's when you go to the bathroom on Shabbos and the light's on, and then you leave the bathroom, turn the light off, you're like, oh shoot, 5-second rule, and turn it back on. Guys, my name is Ellie, LeWood. Thank you very much. I am going to introduce your next comedian. He is at NYU currently. He performs all over the city. Please give it up for Rabbi. By the way, sorry, Rabbi. This is not Rabbi Moshe Shema. Does not go to NYU. Rabbi Moshe Shema is doing a book signing and already spoke. Okay. Okay. Sorry. So this guy goes to NYU, he performs all over the city. Please give it up for Andrew Tavid.
Woo! Alright. Give it up for Ellie. I'm Rabbi Moshe. Anyway. Guys, who's ready for adventure? Yes! Alright, well a few of you are ready. The rest of you better get prepared, because adventure's coming. So, my name's Andrew Tavid. There's a place in the city called Insomnia Cookies, which is great because every bakery should be named after a psychiatric disorder, right? You know, like schizophrenia brownies, except it also thinks it's a cake. Thank you, period. I noticed there are, like, every kosher restaurant in the city kind of wants to offer sushi now, right? If you don't believe it, then you're not going to appreciate this joke. But I believe that every kosher restaurant in the city kind of likes to offer sushi. Am I right? Yeah. That's right. And normally that works. But I know a place that serves pizza and sushi. And when you start to think about that, pizza, sushi, they're one Wiener Schnitzel away from restarting World War II in food form. Yeah. I turned to my friend. I said, if you see even one Wiener Schnitzel, you run back home and hide the matzo balls. I'm going to get a little political. I think that the Nobel Prize was undeservedly given to Al Gore because Captain Planet has been saving the environment for over 2 decades. Yeah, it's just another example of the white man keeping the blue man down. You guys seem like an educated crowd. Do you guys know the painting The Last Supper? Yeah, no, everyone does. A lot fewer people have seen The First Supper. It's adorable. Jesus with mashed peas all over his face. Right. This is going to be controversial. But you know, if I can't say it here, I can't say it anywhere. I do believe that Moshe is more awesome than Jesus. Case in point. So if that's not Jesus, you're going to walk on water. I don't really want to get my sandals wet. Yeah. Keep on trucking. So anyway, in the Torah, there's a point where Lot and his wife are running away from snow, and God turns Lot's wife into a pillar of salt. Now, why a pillar of salt? Why that architectural element plus that flavor enhancer? I have no idea. Why couldn't it be like an arch of pepper, like a flying buttress of cardamom? But fine, pillar of salt. But then what I don't get is that he just leaves her there. But at the same time, I guess the sodium would have gone through the roof. Because let's face it, you have a pillar of salt, you're gonna lick it. I would be looking at this constantly. I would not get anything done. I mean, be the most ineffectual person in the Torah. So, I went to get the 3 Musketeers one time from the vending machine. said 33% less fat. I opened it up. There were only 2 musketeers in there. That's right. I was like, why do they have to get rid of Porthos? He was the most delicious. Don't worry. I Wikipedia that too. I don't expect anyone to have known. I got an orange juice that said 100% juice plus additional flavorings. And I feel like that has to be like the high school coach of orange juice. That's just like, give 110%. And they're like, coach, that's mathematically impossible. And he's like, just add sodium bentonate, it'll be okay. And then the Cougars won the pennant. And then the Maccabees won the pennant. So easy to tailor to the audience. I didn't take the opportunity. So I think as at least a few of us know, but I'll invite in the rest of you. During Pesach, God at one point tells the Jews that he is going to kill all of the Egyptian firstborn, and they must mark their doors so he knows which houses to pass over, because God, like the rest of us, is terrible with addresses. You don't want to walk down and see God over your baby's crib, and he's like, what are you doing? And he goes, this is 345 Ramsey's Drive, right? No, this is 345 Ramsey's Avenue! Oh my God. Oh my knee. Is this embarrassing? I'm gonna make it up to you guys. You guys like matzah? You like matzah. We're gonna figure this out. It's gonna work out, don't worry. You and I, we're gonna make it happen. So I saw a homeless person with a sign that said, Mama said there'd be days like this. Who tells their kids they're gonna be homeless? Seems a little insensitive, doesn't it? Hey, Mommy, can I be an astronaut? Oh, you wish you had a spaceship to live in. No. Here are crayons, here's some paper, make a sign. See you tomorrow. She's a terrible parent. In the joke, my parents were great. I'm not trying to brag. I lucked into it. I had that's all on them. It's not on me at all. Good people, though. I like them. So, I don't know. Do you guys know those electric credit card machines?
Yeah!
That's right! Someone's gonna love this one. So I think those electric credit card signature machines. It never looks like my name. It always just looks like a blob, right? Yeah.
My signature is a blob.
Oh, well that would explain it. What I was saying was that I hate those electric credit card signature machines because it never looks like my name. It always looks like a blob. And I worry if they gossip about me afterwards. Like, hey, you know who uses this credit card here a lot? That one guy. Come here, he's nice. I like him. I wish he'd come back more. So, who here remembers driver's ed? I know it's mostly New Yorkers. Okay, good. 2 people who are New Yorkers. They're New Jerseyers, so they know driver's ed. The only thing I hated about it when they had those videos that were so alarmist that they would show you. They would be like, they were 4 teenagers just like you, driving without their seatbelts while speeding down the road in a car they had carelessly left on fire. Not one of them could see it coming. So, you guys, I think we can all agree that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory has a terrible ending.
Oh my God, seriously?
Right. Seriously.
Deal.
No, I think we can all agree that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory has a terrible ending. Because Charlie has made the new owner of the chocolate factory, and then he and Willy Wonka get in an elevator, which bursts through the ceiling for no purpose other than to cause property damage that Charlie, as the new owner, will have to deal with. I feel like the person who's got to be most upset from that has to be the vice president of the Wonka Corporation. Just imagine him in his office, just like, well, Mr. Wonka's going to give him control of the company, and next in command, it's ring, ring. What's that, Mr. Wonka? Oh, you're going to send out golden tickets to choose the next owner of the factory. Oh yes, I'm sure one of those children will be qualified to run a business. That's okay, bye Mr. Wonka. I'm sure we're glad we invented this toffee gun. Almost makes it all better. Pretty cool magic trick I just did. Most of you missed it, because you were too busy watching me drop my keyboard. But you guys would have seen it. It was something. So, I heard some people, maybe this was a joke, I don't know, I heard some people meeting the Bashir tonight. Clap if you're meeting the Bashir tonight. Alright, well, those 2 people people are getting married. No, I know, but what did I start saying that? Oh, I remember. Because I'm lucky. I do have a girlfriend. She's Russian. My favorite thing about her is a series of increasingly smaller girlfriends inside of her. So that's great. I also, people always talk about how crazy it's going to be. So we tell our future kids, like, what we didn't have at their age. And when I was your age, we didn't have whitening strips or whatever. I think what's crazy is what our grandkids will tell their grandkids. Like when I was your age, our babysitting robots only had 2 emotional settings. Both of them in. People say we need to save the environment for our future kids. My future kids are jerks. Always traveling back in time, asking me if they can borrow the keys to the hover car. And I'm like, did future me say you can have the keys to the hover car? They're like, future you said it was fine. Of course, they even asked future me. So now we're in a fight. I also, I want to ask them questions. It's like, hey, do you have a jetpack? Like, yeah. Rocket pack's where it's at now, Dad. Caw! Because that's how people in the future say bye. Say, caw! Caw, caw, caw! And sing in the future. Those of you don't know. Those are my impressions. And sing in the future. It goes over great in no way. I know I shouldn't, but I get upset enough, and I'll say to them, I'll be like, maybe, even though you so much, maybe I just won't have you. And he goes, tough luck, Dad. If you don't have me, then I will have never existed to have traveled back in time and ignore you into not having me. It's like, that's the problem with kids those days. No respect, right? Some of you appreciated that, and the rest of you didn't. So that's okay. Playing to my crowd over there. They had these advertisements in Montana. These like meth ads. Not like for meth, like buy 3 meth! Like against meth. And so, in the ads, you have a kid in a laundromat, and then a guy runs in wearing a hoodie. He's like punching people and yelling stuff, like I'm on meth! Or whatever they said. And he grabs the kid by the collar and he shakes him. And then reverse shot, we see that the guy in the hoodie is this same kid, but a few years older with scars on his face. And he shakes the kid and goes, this was supposed to be your life! And that is a great ad. Because it tells you everything you need to know. Meth will mess up your face and let you time travel. It's like, John, what are you doing? Shh, I have to save Lincoln! And you'll notice my gesture doing meth was this, because I have no idea how meth is done. If I could ballpark it, that would be it. So, you got it? Yeah, 8 times on the 9. So, I know right now, I may not seem like much, but keep an eye out. Next time you're in Times Square, look up. Don't be surprised if you see me on the billboard. And I will shout down from that billboard and tell you that my job cleaning billboards pays nothing. And I really need a place to stay. I'm going to use that applause break to take a drink. Oh no. This is suddenly. You want to hear a joke someone told? No, you're not, for a very appropriate reason. But you want to hear a joke that someone told me wasn't funny enough to do tonight?
Yes.
All right. The audience member.
You're leading me on, yes.
Whoa. Okay, anyway. So we are at Sefer. My favorite Sefer is actually the Art Scroll translation of the Megillah, because it stars Esther and Ahasuerus, my favorite of the dinosaurs. See, Ellie? They liked it. Good. So, my parents, I'm actually from Memphis, Tennessee. Woo! Woo! As is like half the audience, surprisingly. Oh, okay. So I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, and there's a town, I grew up in the Jewish part, so I don't have a lot of like redneck experiences. but my parents were recently redistricted, and their new congressman lives in a town called Frog Jump, Tennessee, which is amazing. Because if you went up to a screenwriter, the best screenwriter, and told them to come up with the most hit-sounding town name they could, they would not come within a possum's hair of Frog Jump, Tennessee. And the best part is, you know, there's just some crazy anecdote about it, just like, well, it's a frog's jump away from the river, so we call it Frog Jump, Tennessee. By the way, the mayor of Frog Jump, Tennessee, jumped with 3 X's on it. And he's incredibly racist, as you would expect. Alright, my time's up, but we got no event show for you tonight. Guys, I'm Mr. Tavid. Please give it up for my introduction next to me. Alright, bring it back, Ellie. What am I doing?
Just introduce me.
For your next comedian, guys, you playing is that, hello? Okay. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my... Alright, guys, the next comedian is fantastic. Plays at clubs and colleges all around the country. Please give it up for the very funny Eli Shapiro! Yeah!
Thank you. Oh, please. How's it going, everybody? How's it going, YU? Yes. Yeah. Thank you for having me. I'm from NYU. My name's Eli. I go to Tisch. I'm a film student. Maybe you can guess from the glasses and shoes. I took a long subway ride up here. I don't mean to judge people's music taste, but this girl sitting next to me on the subway ride up here, you know, you can hear people's like headphones. She was listening to the Saturday Night Live opening theme song, like that jazz band, like Horatio Sands, Maya Rudolph. It was an old episode too, so that was a weird. I didn't know SNL translated that either, right? Ellie was talking about Jews and board games. I do agree that the board game industry would go out of business if it weren't for Jews on Shabbos. Because really, who else is playing 18 hours of Monopoly followed by Settlers of Catan? I played a game of Clue last Shabbos. Spoiler alert, it was Professor Plum. I didn't mean to ruin it for you guys. I know, I was shocked too. But you guys remember the weapons for the game Clue? You remember those? Yeah, what were the weapons again? Like the rope and the candlestick and this is my question. Why would you use any of those weapons when you have a revolver? There's that one dumb kid who's like, wait, there was a gun? I didn't know that was an option. Here I'm trying to knock him in the head with a candle. It wasn't working. You guys like that Super Bowl we just did? How about that? That was fun, right? Two people who watched the Super Bowl, I guess. I was such an art student though. 2 weeks ago, like someone asked me like, who am I rooting for? I said the artist. Maybe Tree of Life. We're talking about Best Picture, right? Good gesture. I want to give a round of applause to this event. This is really awesome, actually. I didn't really know about this until I tried it. We can clap for this. This farm sale, guys. Come on, clap for your own. There we go. I think it's great, not only because of this whole thing, but like that people are reading, because reading is hard. I don't know if you guys know, but reading a book, like you ever get 100 pages into a book, you realize you have no idea what it's about? Like, I didn't pay attention to any of that. You know, because my mind wanders, I don't know, like I'll start off fine, I'll be like, the man walked into the woods, and then my like moron brain starts getting too excited and starts going like, you're reading! You're reading a book! Yay! Like, stop that. They buried him. He's dead. When did that happen? I totally missed that part. I like books with really short chapters because it makes you feel smart, right? Like the Da Vinci Code, remember that? That was like a chapter a page, remember that? I was like, chapter 19. They found the Mona Lisa, chapter 20. I just read a chapter, my friend. Now I'm going to sleep. My quota for the day. You guys, are there any comic books? Or is it no comic books in the building, right? You guys are comic book fans? Superhero fans? Yeah. Obviously the comedians are really superhero fans. That just goes with the demographic. There's some superheroes I don't get, like Wonder Woman. I don't really know anything about Wonder Woman. I don't think anyone does, really. Does she have a power or something? Does she even have a power? Or does she just like dress up like Batman, like weird clothes or whatever? That's her power? I think that's why she's called Wonder Woman, because everyone's like wondering what she does, right? Daredevil's the only blind superhero. A blind superhero, right? That's after he saves from a burning building, you have to help him cross the street, right? A symbiotic relationship there. Last time I was in Israel, I was staying in a youth hostel in Jerusalem, and there was a sign, there was a door in my room, and there was a sign, and in America, they have a sign that when the door is not an exit, they have a sign that says, in English, this is not an exit, right? But in Israel, it says the sign in Hebrew, and the phrase they use is Ein Yetziah, which has a slightly different meaning. It's not quite, this is not an exit, but more like, there is no exit. Which is a much scarier thing to have on the one door to my room. Ein Yetziah, there is no exit. There's no way out. Attempting to escape is futile. I couldn't see a sign under it that just says like, "Wahahaha," like written out, you know? The only thing scarier than that is if Gandalf himself was standing in front of my door. You shall not pass. Ein Yetziah. You ever try and get your secular or non-religious friend to come to shul with you? I try and get my friend to come to front end service with me. He's very anxious about it because it's a different world for him. Because I guess what he thinks is going to happen is when he walks into shul, it's going to be like in the movie Inception, when you're in someone else's dream and all the projections suddenly stop what they're doing and just stare at you. He's watching too many movies, I guess, you know? You know those fortune cookies? I'm not sure if they always have these, but there's some fortune cookies on the back of the fortune. They have a little Chinese character, and it says learn Chinese. You can learn a little Chinese character and phrases and stuff. I didn't know about that, so one time I opened up a fortune cookie upside down, and I thought that was my fortune. I was like, learn Chinese. I'm gonna learn Chinese? Yes! I always wanted to know Chinese. I started setting up, like, applying to translator jobs. Like, sir, you are fluent in Chinese, right? No, but in the near future, I will be. Sources tell me. I'll be learning any day now. Fortune cookies are misnamed because they're not cookies, and there's nothing fortunate about getting one. They're terrible. Imagine describing that as going, well, for dessert, we're going to have dry, tasteless shells with paper filling. The fortunes are always so vague, right? They don't mean anything. It's always like, patience is a reward for those who dream. It doesn't even make sense. You just strung words together, fortune cookie. I'm not even kidding. That's an exact portion. I get literally, patience is the reward for those who dream. But the crazy thing is, 2 weeks later, it came true. I was like, no way! How did it know? People are always overdramatic about things. I think like, whenever someone's trying to remember an actor's name or something, you know, they always say like, this is gonna bother me all day. All day? Way to blow this out of proportion. That's what's ruining your day? Like, it's been a rough day. I couldn't remember who played Principal Rooney in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Why do bad things happen to good people? You remember family reunions when you were a kid? You remember, you know, over the high holidays or something, all the family would get together and you'd see like relatives you hadn't seen for a million years? That was never fun as a kid. Because as a kid, every single adult relative that comes up to you inevitably has to mention how small you were the last time they saw you, for some reason. Last time I saw you, you were so small! You were the littlest thing! You were like an atom! I could inhale you! We needed a Hadron Collider telescope to just discover a particle that was as small as you. You were so small! Thanks, Uncle Larry. I can't really help it. It's human development. Bro, last time I saw you, you had hair, so I don't know. People change over time, I guess. So family reunion is always so depressing, right? Because it's just like saying, this bunch of crazy, neurotic underachievers has the same genes as you. So chances are, you're gonna turn out just like them. I was coming back to the dorm one Shabbos, and I get into the dorm, and there was these girls there, and they just came back from Friday night services, and they had, Friday night dinner, and they had this pie left over. Now, if there's one thing I've ever learned, it's that you never turn down pies. So I was sitting in the lobby, quietly eating, and the lobby guard comes out from behind his desk. You know, like serious-looking guy with a uniform on the badge and everything. He walks up to us, looks me right in the eye with a completely straight face, and then he said the silliest thing I have ever heard a man in uniform say to me. Because I promise you this is what he said. This is what he said. He says, "You can't just sit here all night eating pie." I've never been yelled at for eating pie before. How do you react to that? You can't just sit here all night eating pie. As if specifically the pie was the problem, right? Like sitting there is fine. But once you bring pie into this, you think you can just waltz in here with pie? I love the all-night part of that too. Like we weren't just gonna finish that one and leave. We would keep buying pies and eating them there. Like, what did he think was gonna happen? We have like an all-night pie festival? It's like 5 a.m. There's a mound of aluminum tins. We're just shoving pies in our face. What did he think was gonna happen? I like old art, like classical art. Because all those people and all the paintings and sculptures from like the Renaissance, they all look so peaceful, right? Don't they? They're always all naked, they have like wings, they're just like, I wish that's how people sit around in real life, you know? Like, are you all set? Just wait in this room and the doctor will see you shortly. On that pose, I will end you for the night, for the comedy night. Thank you, I'm Eli Shapiro. Give it up for all of us comics, and for you guys, and for the Seforim Sale.